Hi everyone, so in today's video I want to make the box you just saw, and I made a shaker the other day for a Tonic Studios craft kit, and I've just been thinking about shakers since then. I thought, you know what, maybe we should make a box, not with an inlaid shaker, but with a shaker that sees all the way through to inside the box, which I guess that's what it would have to do. Well, no, I guess it wouldn't have to. It could be on top of like the box like this. And then just have some, you know, something that shakes in here, right? But I want it to go all the way through so you see through. So something like this one, but with a shaker in there. Literally just like that, I think. Oh, so that also means that we need to make the hole. I didn't think about that part. Again, our card base, or not a card, but our box base and lid have to be big enough to go into a die cutting machine. Now I have some larger die cutting machines, so that's not really a problem for me, but I'm gonna try and see if I can make something that makes sense. Ooh, I think you're gonna have a bigger machine, guys, sorry. But okay, so that's what we're gonna do today, and I guess I'll make this a start from stash type video because I'm just using some stuff I have, and then just like a pretty frame kind of die set or a nesting die set will work really well, just so that it looks cool, like it's the same shape that you're seeing through, but you can use whatever shapes you want. We'll talk about that more when we get there. But if anything I'm using still available, I'll link them in the description box, possibly embed in the video. Those would be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission for your purchase items through those links. Like this Spellbinder set, if it's available, it'll be for the US and the UK, and that'll definitely be in the description box. Just companies that work with YouTube and their affiliate program will have them embedded in the video because they treat them a little different. But anyway, yeah, so this is the little one I had the other day, which is so cute. So I haven't thought about this, and I do want to use this, and now I'm going to have to make it big enough to accommodate this plus, you know, some extra for the actual box. So let me see if this makes an A2 size kind of box. Let's see. Yeah, it's 5.5 exactly, so it's probably 4 1/4. Yes. So I do want the edges of the box not to be so narrow that it's gonna like squish or do anything weird. So 4 1/4 by 5.5. If we add an inch, it's only gonna be like this much bigger. That might be okay. Well, half an inch from here, half an inch from here, right? Okay, so let's do, oh yeah, let's see. Let me get a scrap of paper. I already did notes on this one. Okay. I said 4 1/4 by 5.5, right? So it's A2. And we want to add an inch all around. So the actual box is going to be 5 1/4 by 6.5. That's still going to make it a little bit delicate around the edges, guys. So our top, and then that's the thing. How do I want? Do I want it to just be 6.5, 1 inch sides? I know I always make boxes with 1 inch sides. It seems like actually that'll work for this because the paper will be 8.5. What's a bummer is I was going to use this paper pad, and I don't think I can now. Let me see. Yeah, it's over 7 inches. Okay, well, we'll see. Maybe it'll work in the other direction. But 8.5 by 7 1/4. Oh my gosh. Would it still work? Let me see. This paper is, I mean, it is like just shy of 7 1/4. Huh. Okay. So for this one to have 1 inch sides, we need a piece of cardstock that is 7 1/4 by 8 1/2, and we actually need 2 of those because we're gonna make the top and the bottom the same. If you want to play with those numbers so that, like this one has the same, you know, side, this one has a shorter top and the side's deeper, you know, mess with those however you like. But this is what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna start off with 2 pieces of cardstock that are 7 1/4 by 8 1/2, and hopefully I can get it from this, right? Okay. Okay, so I have the 2 pieces, and I make them exactly the same because I figure this can be the inside, you know what I'm saying, what's facing up, and then this facing down, and it'll be cute. I think that way you can see those contrasting papers. But, okay. So, they're both, again, 7 1/4 by 8 1/2. I'm going to score them all around at 1 inch, okay, for the lid, for sure, 1 inch all around. Now, if you're using a paper box maker, then 1 inch for your lid, 1 inch for your box base, and that's going to count for the 1/16 of an inch they got to take away so it fits underneath as a base, right? So right now I'm using a paper trimmer, so I'm going to go to 1 inch. Score this guy 1 inch, all 4 sides, okay? And I'll be right back. Okay, I went 1 inch all around. That's our box lid. For the base, since I'm using a trimmer, I have to account for that 1/16 of an inch that we want to get rid of. And so I'm gonna go to 1 1/16. If you're using, again, a box maker, just do 1 inch on the box base side, okay? Right now we're doing 1 1/16, so this is a 16th, so I just want to be clear with this one. If you're looking at 16ths, it's every single little line, basically the ones down here, right at the centimeters, but the ones down here. So the shortest one is 16th, the little bit taller one is an 1/8, the taller one is a 1/4, and this is a 1/2, right? They're just giving them different designations there, but so 1 1/16, so that this will end up being 1/8 of an inch all around smaller to fit up under your lid. So 1 1/16 at every side, okay? So 1 1/16, turn it 1 1/16 on every side. I'll be right back. Okay, so we have our 2 pieces, our lid and our base. I have these cute pieces I can use for something else later. So this is my base. I'm gonna put that to the side for right now, because what we're going to do is take this one. This is the one I want for the inside. I mean, we can go smaller. Yeah, I just want to maximize this and make it really fun. So you can definitely look at this and do your calculations and put this right in the center, or you can eyeball it the way I am right now. If you're afraid to do that, you know, then don't do that. But it looks like it's about 1 inch from each side is where we're at. And that looks good. So I'm going to run this through, of course, a larger machine, because this paper is, you know, the size that it is. But if you want to do this with a smaller machine, just make a smaller box. I'll be right back. Okay, so now we have that. And I would probably decorate this while it's flat, because I think that would just be easier. But we can form these things into boxes now or later. That's fine. So with this one, what I want is a frame. So I should probably grab the paper I'm going to do that with. That way we can just talk about it. I'll be right back. Hey guys, this is actually going to be very simple. So that's fun. But I don't know, in my mind I was like, oh, it's going to be a challenge. Not really. I'm going to make a frame. So with this one, if I was just to do this, it's just going to be a matte layer. So I need to pair it with this guy. And from this sugar kind of glitter paper. So of course tape them down so they don't move, right? We don't want those to move. Now, we can just cut this down to be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 and then cut off the edges, which I think is probably the easiest thing to do, to be honest, because if I run this through, it's going to get this fluting and all this other stuff that I don't really need it to have. So I think that's what I'll do. I'll cut this down basically to fit this size and a little bit smaller, right? And whenever I say that, like, this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, it has the corners cut. But this paper, I'm going to cut it just a little bit smaller than that. That way I know it fits underneath without kind of sticking out. And this happens to be Crafter's Companion heat acetate, like heat resistant. Look how thin it is. I never really noticed that. It's really thin, and it costs more because it's heat resistant, but I don't need it for heat resisting. And also, oh my gosh, I'm telling you guys, I just come on here and I start doing a plan, like something that I just popped in my head, or it just popped in my head. So I'm like, let's do this. I was going to use like an acetate that has like sparkles or something on it. Ooh, actually I see some right now. Hold on. Oh man, so this one, I don't know why it's sitting there. It was just sitting here. Look how pretty that is, but it doesn't really go with this pattern. I mean, right? That's kind of a little much. And now I can use the other side. I know the other side's gonna be silver, and that's very busy, but you know what? Why not? So with these guys, the opposite side's always silver because they use the silver as a lay down, and then they put the color like the red or green or gold, whatever it is, over that. So you know what? I'll use this side. So again, I'm gonna cut this piece a little bit smaller than 4 1/4 and a little bit smaller than 5 1/2, and then another just plain piece the same way. Okay. So unfortunately, that means, excuse me, I don't know why I said unfortunately. I was like, what was I gonna say? I have no idea. Maybe I need to cut this. Like, it's so pretty. I love all these designs, but there's one little stag right there. So there we go. And I do need to take the little coating off of this. It has like a plastic coating somewhere on here, but I'll pick at it and I'll find it and I'll peel that off and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so we have some of our pieces. We have the acetate that's just clear, the acetate with the design on it. which I'm going to use the silver side. We have this frame, so I'm going to leave this stuck together, but we're going to need several more frames. Now, well, okay. This paper is nice and thick, so to be honest, I can just use foam and I'll be good to go. But if you want to build it up with paper, the thickness, you know, look how small, like, not small, but thin this is. If you want to build this up with just like white cardstock or something that coordinates, you're going to want to run it through like 4 or 5, 6 times so you can get a ton of layers to get that thickness so that you can fill this in with your spangles and sparkles and whatever else you want. So I don't know that I wasn't going to do that. But now that I'm here, I feel like, should I do that? I know it's getting harder and harder to find the foam tape that just goes around everything. Also, if you're using little thin spangles or little small things, or not small, but like sequins, let's say, you can just use your regular dimensional adhesive. I know it's like little squares or whatever, and just line it up as close as you can, and that'll work too. Because unless you're using like fine glitter, it's not going to fall out, you know? So something to think about. Okay, fine. I'll run this through maybe 4 pieces of cardstock and see how we do, okay? So I'll be right back. And I left it taped together so that it's going to be exactly the same as this guy. So you're going to want that for that height in between your base layer, whatever it is that you're using for a base, if you're putting this on a card or something, and your acetate, right? So that you have a space created for your sequins to roam around. All right, I'll be right back. So you don't waste paper. I will show you that if you just cut your paper, your A2 size at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, just layer it behind here and look at it just so you know that it's right on the edges. You're going to cover this up anyway, so just do your best that, you know, I know it's missing a little piece right there and that's fine. Just tape that down and I can get 4 frames from one A2 size piece of paper. Okay, last one. And so these guys, I'm just going to put together, and I guess I'm going to put them together right now. It's not the biggest deal how you want to do this. It'll all work out just fine. But this one's going to be on the very top of the acetate, so we don't want to glue, you know, your uppermost one. No, let's just keep that to the side. And then this one didn't cut all the way through for some reason, so I just kind of tore it, so I need to fix that. Right there, okay. And let me get these frames going. Basically, we're actually going to get it going on here. You know, so if you want to start gluing onto there, you know, go for it. I will say you're going to want to trap some acetate under that, though. So I'm just going to put them together here. I think it's just easier to kind of frame this out. Oh, yeah. Of course. Of course. Let's try another one. That's going to take a minute. I'll be right back. This guy just has the ultra fine tip on there, so of course it's going to be a little more persnickety. I want that on the very edge and also the very inside edge because you don't want your sequins to get stuck on that and possibly start a problem. Okay, so again, these are just the plain ones. I'm not using my nicer ones quite yet. So I'm just going to stack these guys up one after the other, and there are 4 of them, right? So I will be right back. Okay, I have these guys all together, and this is extra heavyweight paper, so I mean it's probably a 1/16 of an inch deep, I would say. So like I said, we are going to add this on top of here. If your paper has a certain direction, you're going to want to keep in mind up and down, if any of this stuff has a direction, right? Then we have this guy. Like I said, we are going to cut the corners off, so we can glue these 2 together right now. We can glue this to, you know, the surface here. Basically we just need to cut away these little corner bits, right? Since I know it's hard to see, but since I just kind of did this on my own, I just need these corners cut away, and I'm going to cut away just a good amount. Again, I'm eyeballing this because when I put this down I might have to do some adjustments. And so this guy can get glued down right here. I don't know what happened to this. It has like a little kink in it. Maybe I'll put down here. So we don't want our goodies falling through. So I'm going to put glue here. Again, if you like using double-sided tape, go for it. It'll start coming apart after a while. Foam tape also comes apart, which is kind of a nightmare when you have a shaker, but it happens. I'm going to leave that there. Okay, and then, like I said, I'm just going to pop this down. And again, I only left myself like a 1/4 inch on either side because I did a 1/2 inch, right? And remember, I did an inch larger, so that means 1/2 inch larger than the frame. So really I have an inch in between here, but anyway. And then this guy is going to go here, and that's going to keep our stuff in here. And then we're going to put another layer, right? Plus our most decorative layer here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this down too a little bit. Again, just kind of eyeballing what we have going here. Like that, and here. Not too close. We don't want to cut it away that ends up things are falling out of there. No, we don't want that. I guess I'll go ahead and glue this down too. I was gonna say we can start. I don't want this to end up popping off because, you know, I'm working with you guys like in real time a lot of times. What I'm going to do is go ahead and score this right now that all we have is this piece on here. So on each one of the lines right up to where they join, I'm going to cut up one line and cut away. We're going to do the same thing for our box base and the lid, of course. And here. Here. Here and here. Okay. And I'm so sorry that this is so close up. Like I said, this camera's on the fritz. I'm telling you, the camera, my husband's phone won't charge anymore, which is funny because his is newer than mine. But, you know, Apple products, it happens. Especially with the charging. I don't know what is up with that. And then my husband hit something in the road the other day, and his tire went almost flat, like immediately. I'm like, okay. And then he tried to pump it up, and it wasn't quite working. I'm like, it's probably the rim. Like something happened to it. And sure enough, he took it to, you know, Discount Tire Warehouse. Used to be America's Tire Warehouse out here. And they're like, oh, the rim's damaged. So paid to fix the rim. And in the meantime, his tires are also kind of bad. So now we're replacing all the tires and fixing the rim. And it's like, why? And, you know, when it rains, it pours, right? Okay, so this is what this is going to look like. I just wanted to get it all scored up right now just to have that ready. But I'm going to go ahead and glue the frame down. Again, do whatever you like. Whatever, you know, if you feel like you should just go ahead and glue it together as a box, go for it. But what I'm going to... Why do I keep going for this? I'm going to glue this down and put some weight on it. I'm going to walk away for a little while. Go watch something. YouTube or something. Again, on the very edges. And then right up to the edge, it's going to be here on the inner edge. And I'll probably put some weight on top of it too, because, you know, that's what I like to do. And again, I only scored it now because I feel like that was a better option. But if you don't want to because of all this that's, you know, popping up right now, then don't do it. Do it when you're ready. Okay, so again, I hold it down to make sure it's not going to move on me, but I think that's okay. And then, in the meantime, since I have nothing else to do, what I'm going to do is go ahead and cut the base at the very same way, right up the side here, and notch a little piece away. I'm going to do that all around. I'm going to score it, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I went ahead and folded, you know, scored this one, and again, I wanted that beige to show through with it. I think is really cute. Obviously, when the box is empty, or depending on what you put in there. So we're gonna put this up, and we're gonna do the same thing with the lid when it's ready. So right now, I'm just gonna go around all the corners and add glue. Give it a zhuzh. Glue to the very corners, the very edge. Kind of go like this. Spread that out a little bit. Okay, so this glue tab and this glue tab, and then I'm probably going to attach the frame to this piece, so I'll be right back. Okay, and you know, with Nuvo Deluxe, it just holds on really fast, and then that's it. So we have that beautiful box here, and then this guy, I'm just going to glue these together. Actually, I'm going to put a little glue on here instead. Just seems easier. Right along the edge here. And again, I'm using the back side of this. Obviously, when the person opens it, the gold's going to be showing, but I think it looks nicer with the silvery side than the gold side. And that's just my choice. Okay. So again, pop that on there. I'll probably place this underneath something heavy too. And I'll be right back. How pretty is that? Okay, guys. So we have our box base. We have our lid here. I also put some weight on top of our little frame over here. Oh my gosh, look at that. I mean, that's so pretty. A lot going on, but that didn't bother me. I kind of enjoy that. And also, I think I'm going to use these green and red Nouveau embellishments. Why not? Just to bring a little green in here. So, I mean, honestly, that's beautiful too, right? I don't know. I just felt like this kind of softened it a little bit and went in there. I'm still kind of debating if I should put this box together. I guess I'll just wait. We already went this far without putting it together. Okay, so I'm just going to sprinkle some of this in. And again, I don't put a ton. And if you like to use like a little, one of these little guys, an embossing buddy to kind of help with the static, you know, you can do that. Rub it on both surfaces. I usually don't because I feel like it's going to get static anyway later. So not the biggest deal. Put a little extra in this one because this is a big, I mean, it's basically an A2 size front. Let me get this little guy. Okay, fine. You want to go in here, don't you? All right. And so, glue. And the wrong one again. Ay, ay, ay. All right, here we go. So, I'm going to put it all across here. And I could have done this first and then poured this stuff in, but however you want. And this shouldn't take too long. So, then right into here, right? Again, right up against where that junction is at the very inner edge here. Okay, I think that's good. And I'll spread this out just a little bit, but it should have plenty of movement. And then we'll bring this pretty thing in. Oh my gosh, you guys. And, oh, look at this guy. No, no, no. I'm going to cause a mess just so I can get this one little bit back in. And this one over here too. All right, I'm going to clean that little buddy off. Okay, there we go. Oh, and now we have stars that stood up on us. There we go. So sometimes that static cling will like make things like stand up on their side or on their edge there. All right, so that looks pretty good. I think that's lined up pretty well. You know, make your adjustments. And I'm going to put something on top again. And I'm going to walk away for a little while and I'll be back. Okay, guys, let's put this guy together. Oh, that's so pretty. And I mean, you know, it could have been this acetate at the bottom level and then just a clear on top, like both clear, you know, whatever it is you like. Okay, so let's put this together. And I can already see kind of what it's going to look like when you see through, but with the silver on the top. Okay, and just like we did before, I go around. What is going on here? Okay, it's like, why is this so tight? I'm just going to glue my glue tabs all around for our lid. Okay, just finish those last two. I always kind of give it a little push in here because it kind of wants to bow out. All right, let's bring our base. And just a quick reminder, this is, I would say 5 1/4 by 6 1/2, right? And so, I mean, look how pretty that is. Love it. And again, I don't put a ton, and I mean there's a lot going on this already. I was thinking about making like a little bow to go on here, and of course fits perfectly well. Whatever's in there, they can kind of see through a little bit. Maybe you put some tissue, you know, unless maybe you're putting cookies in here or some kind of treat. That'd be really, really cute. I mean, what more can I say? This paper is not like construction weight paper, so I really don't want to add more things on top. I feel like it's going to be too much. But again, I was thinking about making a little bow, which is kind of funny because this one, it does have silver, red, and green in it. And adding it, but I mean, there's just a lot going on. Okay, well, let's make one with quite a few, maybe with 3 loops. So making a finger bow, I have a video just on this, literally going step by step a few times. So you just bring your ribbon or your twine, whatever it is you want, up and around your index finger, up under your middle finger, do it again, however many times you want. I think 3 is good. I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. Let me see if I left myself enough over here. I'd bring a little more. Get yourself a little extra because you're going to take this, and my fingers are kind of far apart so the loops are a little bit bigger. You're going to go across everything you just did. So go ahead and push that through. And that little line that you just made there, you're going to take your end and go back up through it. Just that little line. And give it a good tug. You can kind of arrange things before you take them off your fingers. But that's basically it. And of course I took this apart. I didn't want that to happen. Let's try to see if we can get it back together. A little bit. Maybe it's a little bit big. And I mean, you got it there, at the top, the bottom, wherever it is. I was going to put it here. It's kind of going off the edge a little much. How about there? Should we put it there? Okay, we'll put it there. And just a little glue, and that is it. How funny that these colors are perfectly, you know, I don't know if I see things and I'm inspired by them and I don't notice, you know, like subconsciously maybe, because this like matches perfectly. Anyway, all right, I would use hot glue for that generally so it sticks really quick. But that's it, guys. So thanks for watching. You know, I should cut this tag off. I got this at Home Goods. I was showing you guys that they had these rolls. It's actually kind of interesting. Like, I don't know what this is. They had them on different kinds of spools and things. But that one's kind of fun. A little different. All right. There it is. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. Please keep requesting whatever kind of box that you're looking for. If there's a particular size or something like that, I can definitely try to work on that for you guys. I love making boxes, so, you know, if I can get it done, I will do that for you. But I like the, you know, you can see through, you see the different pattern, and then it's the same on the outside. It's really cute. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. That was very fun. I thought it was going to be a little more difficult or something, but I mean, you're just making an aperture and then adding a shaker with it, right? So on the back, it actually looks really nice and neat too. All right. I'll have images coming up and links as appropriate, and I'll see you all at the next one. Bye now.